Welcome to Industry Giants Podcast, where we'll be discussing what it's like to be a titan in the modeling industry, visibility, tokenism, and actually being present and represented as a pillar in the zeitgeist of fashion and culture. I'm Thaddeus from IMG Models.
I'm Oli G from Wilhelmina.
I'm Devon Woodard from Wilhelmina.
Big Max from Wilhelmina as well.
And this is Industry Giants Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Good to be back. Good to be back, man.
That was wonderful.
That was wonderful. Yeah, man.
That was off the dome, right?
Well, I had it written down,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
but I went back to it and revisited it.
Respect.
But yeah.
Yeah, man.
Nah,
Good to
very
see
good.
everybody, man. I know we had some traveling and some other adventures.
It's been a lot.
Yeah,
Things
man.
have been going on for us.
Yeah, man.
5 months. 5 months it's been.
Oh, wow.
Man, we had to let the audience know, but that's all
Recorded.
good, man.
It's okay though.
They don't know.
They know this.
They don't know.
They don't know, but it's all good.
Yeah.
We lived it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Exactly.
man. We wanna start with the question of the week, though.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we had some crazy responses online.
Okay, boom. 1
We
second.
wanted to react to them, see how they go.
All right. So the question of the week is, what's the most ridiculous requirement you've ever heard for a modeling gig? Or you ever had for a modeling gig?
All right, okay. So who want to read the first response we got? I guess I'll go. All right, the first one is as a hand model, I was advised to avoid extreme activities that may cause harm to my hands 3 days before the shoot day. That's actually crazy. I don't know any hand models, so I don't know. I have a take on that, man.
Hold on, so 3 days before
3 days
the shoot,
before
they
the
told them,
shoot.
Don't do any
Yeah,
kind of,
I actually saw this on somebody's Instagram, and they said that they weren't even getting paid enough to be taught like this. Like,
No way.
don't do any extreme activities. I guess so they won't get their hands
Right.
scarred up or whatever. It makes
that
sense,
makes complete sense though.
but to hear somebody say that, it's like,
Have you ever had like hand requirements, like nail requirements or whatever for like?
yeah, I have had, yeah.
But the way I feel about that is that if you have those requirements, you should have the nail set crew
Yeah.
on set.
True.
Right?
But
I should be pulling up and you doing my toes. Like I should be
Yeah.
pulling up. Like, that's how I feel.
But the crazy thing is, I've had to do like shoots with like my hand and my face and stuff, and I've had like scratches and scars on my hands, and I'm like, oh well, if you see it, I'll make them notice to it, and they were like, we'll Photoshop that out there. So it's like,
Okay.
to hear that type of comment, it's like that's kind of crazy. Like Photoshop exists.
So they don't get it.
Yeah.
So whoever left that comment, go ahead and do your extreme sports 3 days before the
Every day beforehand.
every day before.
But be careful. This one says, after signing with an agency, I was informed that I was expected to treat my body like some kind of sacred professional athlete.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even read that one.
The
That's
truth
crazy.
is,
I'm sorry, where are these
These
online
are
responses
coming from Instagram specifically.
Okay.
So these are
Yeah.
questions from you all,
Yeah.
or responses from you all.
I mean, technically, yeah.
I kind of respect
That's-
that one. I mean, it said after signing, so I'm assuming that they're just new to hearing that or accepting that. But
The truth is, the industry is about image. The industry is about keeping up with your body in person. Oh, wow.
Maintaining.
God, please, no! 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 No!
Also,
Love that.
do
love
your
that.
agents comment on your body?
oh,
Unless it's spoken
I
about.
haven't experienced it, but I've heard stories like of specifically big and tall guys where they'll be advised to gain weight.
Interesting.
Yeah, to gain weight to attract more work, more brands, which is crazy.
That's nuts.
But not directly to me. I haven't.
Well, is it gain weight or you want to fit a certain proportions? Well, I get. It means to gain weight. Let's be
Yeah.
real. But also, is it because the clients require you to fill in a certain amount? Like your measurements should be XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. Because I feel like I would receive it way more if you tell me, hey, your measurements should be within these ranges, as opposed to telling me, hey, you got to gain or lose weight. I don't know. Maybe it's just a politics thing, but like I would receive it way more if you tell me you should be, for your size and modeling, we prefer our models to be XYZ. You know, the range for chest should be 48 to 51 or 52 inches, blah, blah, blah. That way it's not necessarily, hey, you need to be fatter or you need to lose weight, but you should think about sticking to certain proportions. And maybe the punch of that would feel a little less than telling someone outright, like, gain or lose weight.
Nah,
I also have a follow-up question too, because do you feel like there's more pressure? I don't know. Okay, so I feel like there's like this vacuum in the industry where we're on the brawn board or the curve board rather. So like everything for us kind of is like it's like a trickle-down effect. So I feel like we don't feel the pressures of a models have to stay skinny thing, but I also feel like every brawn guy I know is always like making sure they're active to kind of to kind of get like more fit or more smaller. So it's so interesting because the industry not the industry, but our agents aren't telling us to lose weight. They're actually telling us to gain weight. But I feel like every like plus or curve guy I know just in general is just like very athletically built or athletically inclined in a way where it's probably easier for us to trim that, but also it never skinny enough to be with the actual main board too. So it's so interesting because even if we trim or like recomposition our bodies or just look different, I don't think that will merge with that thing, which is, I don't know. It's like this weird like glass like transparent ceiling.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think for me, to answer your first question, like recently, I'd say like within the last 2 months, I got a job in LA, reached out to me, and agent Wilhelmina, she was just like, I sent her some pictures and all that, and she was just telling me how, like she's like, hey, are you doing all right? Have you lost some weight and things like that? And I was just like, I already had like lost some weight and then put weight back on. So she had like, was a little worried that I had lost some weight, but I was just like, nah, I've actually like put weight on and things like that. And then she, you know, CC'd in another agent about it. And it was kind of a thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, low key.
How'd that make you feel though when you saw that CC and it, you know?
I'm not. It was like, it was a little challenging because like I definitely, you know, since I got in the industry, I definitely lost a lot of weight and things like that, but it was more about how I felt. So when that situation came up, I had like, after losing the weight, I already put some weight back on. And when she told me I looked like I was getting like too skinny or something, it was a little like that kind of messed with me a little bit mentally. But no, I was like, look, nah, I'm still a big boy, all that. Like, I don't know, you know, whatever you're saying, like I'm still a big boy for sure. And like she was talking about another client I was working with, like, am I still gonna be able to fit their clothes and all of that? Like, I was like, I've been skinnier and I've been shooting with them and things like that. But no, all was good. Like I went and had a shoot with them, and both my agents would talk about it. But it was just a little weird though.
I was about to say, was it weird just how they came about the
topic? Yeah, because like I also don't see these people in person ever. So like, I don't know, like I gotta hold in how I really feel for real. Like when I got to chat with them.
The CC's wild though.
That's very crazy. That's very really nuts. But also like that's like kind of a reality that I feel like a lot of we like go through. Like it's almost like our bodies are our bodies, but our bodies also belong to this industry in a way where it's like we have to share, literally like that we have to give a share of ourselves to this industry that sees us as this commodity in a way. And also we can talk about how they only see us, how they're only comfortable with seeing us like as pictures and not in movement, because we're not on runways, we're not walking. This could also segue into New York Fashion Week. We're not walking in the shows, we're not in motion, we're not kinetically seen. So it's almost like you can just, when you see us as like a picture in the history book, it's almost like it could be like in the social studies book in 2010, you can say, oh, these are models right here, these are big and tall models, but like there isn't really a tangible like proof. And I feel like it almost serves as an erasure to what we can do and how we can show up in these industries. Because if we aren't seeing us actively in like commercials like Gap and commercials like Old Navy and commercials like Nike, then it's almost like are we just this make believe? Are we a Yu-Gi-Oh card? Are we like this make believe? Are we this trading card in a way where it's like, oh, well, this is Dark Magician. This is Blue Eyes White Dragon. This doesn't like you can't see it in motion, but like here is our proof. You know, it's like tokenism in a way.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna add on to that because it's also very weird, especially when it's like you have to be presented in a certain way, of course, too. I feel like we're rarely age appropriate at the same time, right? For a long time, if you're like in your early 20s, even pushing 30s or in your 30s, like I feel like for a long time the industry pushed you off the back as the accessory, as being the uncle and the dad, as opposed to like actually being, you know, in your 20s and having fun or whatever. Like I've never really had the opportunity to, well, I mean, like 1 or 2 shoots I did, but like for the most part, a lot of the times they push in like this lumberjack look, which nothing's wrong, right? I feel like a big market for big and tall is like, I want to say the Midwest and Middle America.
Middle America,
so that makes complete sense why. But at the same time, as someone who's in my, you know, 20s or early 30s in New York City, does that represent me and my aesthetic? Yeah. But also I have to remember I'm representing the brand's aesthetic and who are they selling to, right? So it's that back and forth between that, and then, you know, as being black models, the whole what's inappropriate look for you as a black model. I feel like for a very long time having hair was just like I wasn't booked for a minute because I had hair. It was almost as if like, what do you do with the hair?
You're like the only guy I know with hair, which is kind of iconic, honestly.
Like, come on. Like, you would think, like, there's so much opportunity to do stuff. Our hair is very versatile. And it's kind of weird that they only want us in one specific box, one specific category, how to look. You have to be this certain clean-cut guy, which it is what it is.
Yeah.
I guess it's just me venting for the moment, but
for sure.
Yeah. But that's crazy because I got into the industry, like trying to mimic my uncle's look, clean cut, bald, clean shave, and I remember him telling me like, yeah, this is the look. You'll get a lot of work doing this, and I felt like he was already putting me in the box. Still got a lot of work from, you know, his guidance, but I definitely feel what you just said, man. Because I keep it clean, but you know what I'm saying?
Very Tyson Beckford. I mean, it's not wrong. Like the supermodel. Like, I get it. If I might go bald.
No, but I definitely
Go ahead. No, I was just saying, like Dad said though, being like in the industry, like big and tall, having hair like that is iconic. It is though. I mean, because there's no guys for it with your hairstyle.
No, and then like, you know,
there's no black guys.
There's no black guys, right? Mm-hmm. You know, I'm gonna be real transparent. I'm not even gonna call out the brand, to be honest, but I'm gonna call them out. It's okay. So basically, I got, you know, I went in for casting. Everything was great. I was perfect for everything, and of course, the casting director or whoever it was looked at me, looked up, was like, "We're a conservative brand." Like, looked at my hair. It was like, "We're a conservative brand." I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever." I have my hair in a clean, slick back, you know, man bun, whatever. I'm like, "Cool, it is what it is." Maybe I don't fit the aesthetic. I've heard this before, especially in Europe. I used to hear this a lot. But eventually they open up their doors. But anywho, so a month later, campaign comes out, and guess who gets the gig? Not only, you know, I'm not making it a race-based situation, but not only was it someone who was not black, let's just leave it there, but the person had a man bun with
same
the
style.
same
That's crazy.
Exact aesthetic. So it's like, is the issue really being conservative? Are we not conservative enough? You know what I'm saying? Like, what exactly is conservative?
Yeah, but I mean, that's a good way to lead into our next segment, though, about like fashion week. It's still taking place, right? But do you see has anybody been to like a show or anything lately? Are you seen something online?
Mm-hmm. I've been to a few
Have you
shows.
Seen any of our like presence as far as our size, our looks, our build?
No. Before we jump there, I wanted to hit this topic for you too. I feel like 100% if you were racially ambiguous, they would eat that bun up. They would eat that slick back up. And I will say that. And there are other like blonde men who also have hair and they book these jobs. I don't know. It's this weird aesthetic. It's like this Soho man who gets coffee, who wears a trench coat, who has a scarf, they eat that look up for your rich
Who
niggas.
feed pigeons in the park.
I'm saying.
You're right.
You're
right.
saying. And the look was, you're on the mood board. So it's like, why not put me in the campaign?
Yeah.
But anyways, I have been to a few shows and I've been in these spaces and I've been having these conversations. I've been like doing the work.
What's the result of these conversations? Man?
It's so interesting. I feel like there are not enough of us represented in these spaces, and also I feel like a lot of us probably don't know, so it's probably a resource thing. But like I said before, if you follow me on Instagram, you obviously seen my story, but I was talking about how the women are light years ahead of, like, the curve women are light years ahead of, like, what we do and how we represent, and it's so cool how they show up for each other, because I feel like they don't have, like, a sense of ego. They all are coming together, they're all bigging each other up, they're all, like, trying to create this network where they know that they're all they have, and that if they want to be the change, they have to make the change within first. And it was really cool to be in that environment, to see them. Also, I had this weird thought, but I also feel like all I keep hearing is it's been a slow year for, like, bronze models. It's been a slow year for, like,
all the time.
the men's board. I'm like, it's almost as if, like, representation is taking a gap year. And I feel like, why is it taking a gap year when the supply and demand of it all is, like, there's so many, like, men who want to be seen in the industry and stuff, and I feel like people are pulling back. But I found this quote that I wanted to say that I wrote down. I thought it was so cool, and I was like, that makes so much sense. It basically says that creating cultural conversation, we should be creating cultural conversations and not responding to cultural conversations. We need dissent, we need variety, and we need change. So a lot of these publications and a lot of these, like, brands are basically following the trends instead of creating the trends.
Yeah, I was about to ask you a follow-up question. Do you think the impact of social media kind of advocates for the curve model for women over the bronze, big and tall men models? Do you think that has a big input on, like, who these designers and brands choose for, like, New York Fashion Week when they want a bigger size?
Absolutely. But if we had, like, agents and, like, if we had, like, agencies that were pushing for us to create cultural change and actually create conversation, like, if these brands wanted to create a conversation, if like luxury brands, if, like, grandfathered brands wanted to create conversation, they would.
Yeah.
But I feel like they may be scared to, and, like, there's like a people are pulling away from it. But I also feel like it's a boomerang is going to come back around.
Yeah.
But why are we taking a hit why are we taking a hit as an industry? And I feel like because guys are not as vocal, it's easy to quiet people who are not going to speak up. We just sitting here taking it. Nobody talking about it. Yeah. I'm talking to my other label, like my other, like I feel like I'm on a label. Like I feel like I'm signing RCA. I'm Normani. They won't let me release my album. And I'm trying to put the album out, but essentially that's what we're doing.
Right.
So I'm looking at all these other agents who are like, oh, how was your season been? How's your year been? I'm in these spaces with all these people, and obviously I'm representing for myself. I mean, I have representation, but also, like, I'm showing up being like, well, I'm Thaddeus, I'm doing this and this and that. And I am doing a lot of amazing things, but I could be doing a lot more amazing things.
So do you feel like your year has been slow for, like, your modeling work as well as a big and tall model?
I feel like I have a lot of, like, regular clients, but I also feel like probably, like, last year I was being submitted for a lot more cooler things that gave me a lot more edge and gave me a lot more enjoyment of what I was doing and pushing the envelope. I love, like, those man on the moon moments where it's like, oh, you're the first of, or oh, this like brand now has these sizes. I love doing stuff like that. When it's not when I'm not like a trophy, when it's more like a first step. So now everybody feels like they can shop there because they see me in, like, a Lululemon. Probably wouldn't do a Lululemon, but I'm just saying, if another brand, I mean, I don't know if y'all want to work with me, but I'm just saying, I don't know, but, like, just, you know what I mean?
Pushing lately.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed.
No, yeah, I actually went to a casting for Lululemon a month ago. And,
a month ago?
Yeah. I didn't hear anything back, but they definitely are trying to work with big and tall.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I don't know if y'all know about
one of the guys.
I don't know if y'all know about Lululemon though. With the CEO or something like that.
That's why.
But that's why.
I saw hesitation.
That's why I was looking.
I don't know. Enlighten me. What's going on with CEO?
Something with him and fat shaming or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Well, the brand Lululemon does, like,
I mean, that makes sense if he's trying to, work
everything.
Yeah, he also basically, it's almost like the creator of Lululemon doesn't believe that bigger people, plus size people, or curve people should be wearing their product because it isn't made for that.
He said that in public.
And double down. Also, the brand is made so that Asian people can't pronounce it. Did you know that?
Literally.
And double down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dang.
he's serious,
Yeah,
bro.
he meant it too.
He don't care.
Wow, I just learned something new. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a castle from him like 2020. I didn't hear nothing, no, but yeah.
Okay.
I walked into one of their stores. They had a campaign. There was actually it's a group of people in that campaign, and there was one model who was a big and tall brown guy who was in it. It looked good.
Okay.
You know what's crazy though? Just so it's so off topic though, but I see what's the name? What's that brand name with Kim Kardashian? Skims,
Are
man.
they-
She's
are they
doing
expanding?
she's doing a campaign with like big guys.
I think
I did some tests for them.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. See, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It was nice.
No, somebody like loungewear is pretty dope.
Their loungewear is good. My only
is
gripe
nice.
about Skims men is how they are portraying the plus men, and maybe it's a personal thing, but I feel like their ad was so good, and they had all the big men in shirts. Nobody had their shirt off. Everybody else had their shirt off, and I'm just saying, like, okay.
Is that for the regular guys too?
Yeah, well, no, okay, so they were like,
Regular
okay,
guys have shirts on.
so there was a second launch of like Skims Men. I'm gonna give y'all some tea. They were like the second launch of Skims Men. They announced it and like it was beautiful, but like it was like all these men. They have like big and tall men too, but like all of the men were big and tall. They had like a their shirts are really good, but all of them had shirts on. Not even to take a shirt.
Oh, like a shirt.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird, but also I don't get it. I get it if it was a model's choice, but I feel like it was a stylish choice.
Yeah, but I think that's the aesthetic too, though. Like most of their campaigns, is
No.
I'm wrong. Then
Are
I'm
they
wrong.
selling?
No, okay, so just selling the shirt. Okay, listen. This is why I thought it was odd.
Yeah.
They had all the male models, like the regular models, they were just shirtless with like the briefs on.
Okay,
They were like, giving, they were selling sex. They were giving like, male attraction, male aura. And I was like, okay, cool. But like also in the same video, they're like these big and tall bronze men, and they have on they're covered up.
There was less attention being put towards
On their bodies. Their Skims is a
was-
physique brand, so like
Got
they should
you.
be showcasing their physique in a flattering way.
Gotcha.
Like I wear tank tops. My chest, I look great in a tank top. I look great without a tank top on. Check the images. But I'm saying, like, why not put them in the same thing that their counterparts are, or like give them that feeling too?
Okay.
I agree.
get it?
I agree with that. But as I think about it some more, that can maybe be on, I don't know if it's the creative director, whoever.
The stylist, that's what I'm saying. The
Yeah,
stylist.
but they do sell that at the end of the day though. So maybe they could have like, I don't know, done two different videos, or maybe a video where they had like the regular guys with the shirts on.
You said so they could choose between different looks.
Yeah,
As far as
or maybe they
options.
just. I feel that.
Disagree.
I feel it though, but they
Disagree.
do sell. How else are they
He's like
supposed
free
to?
to this.
Disagree.
Like, he's like, sell the product.
Disagree.
So it's like-
Yeah.
Because also what it gives me is there are other brands who make cooler things for smaller guys. Like, I'm gonna do another name drop. Yikes. So Drake's Nocta line at Nike is great. But also like when I work Nike, they put me in a gray, they put me in a white, they put me in a black. They don't put me in the green, they don't put me in the blue, they don't put me in the that's what I'm saying. Like also like what he said, going back to the lumberjack aesthetic. Like when I'm doing these brands, I'm not gonna name drop all the brands. I'm just saying like when I'm working for these brands, it's like y'all put me in like the grateful.
Dull, neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got you.
But that's why I love Savage. Shout out to Savage, because it's like Savage is going to put me in a robe. I don't have to have a shirt on. If I want to have a shirt on, I can have a shirt on. But Savage is going to make sure that I feel as like that I look my best, that I feel as great as possible. I'm like that's what the difference is for me.
Shout out to Rihanna,
right?
man.
Yeah.
Savage made me feel sexy.
Right.
When I put on the Savage, I felt sexy.
Like,
Like,
different.
I don't know how many shoots I had, and I put something on and I felt sexy. Like, to be honest with you.
Like I feel like the stylists there are thoughtful enough to be like they don't have a certain like set of looks for you to do, but also they're making sure that like you feel like you're a part of like not just an afterthought. And I felt like the Skims thing was great,
For sure.
But also for like the bigger men were like, let's just put him in a shirt. Let's just make sure it's safe so that way people aren't talking too much about it online. And that's what I'm talking about. When brands want to create dissent and create cultural conversation, that's what they'll do it.
Right.
So if they didn't put if they put him in a tank top like everybody else, people probably would have been like, oh my gosh. Or like men would have probably started to see more like chime in on like the brand. When people see me in Savage stuff, they want to buy the Savage stuff.
What are some other brands that are like examples of including bronze size men?
I think Tommy Hilfiger does a great job.
I was about to say Tommy. That's the only one I can
Tommy
think of.
is one of the ones that I care.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you though.
Go ahead.
Prior to that, my bad, look, you forgot it.
A few moments later.
You good?
I had a good question, 2 good questions.
One eternity later.
Okay.
What were you just talking about? If you don't,
I was talking about Savage.
yeah.
I was talking about how they are designing clothes to make you feel good.
Yeah.
How they're seamlessly making sure that the curve and the big and tall models and the brown models, we won't even know what to call ourselves. That's how confused they are
How you feel
about
so
it.
good. So, you know,
That's
that
another thing.
That's another thing. We need a sense of identity so
was
we
a
can
good
stand
That
up.
was me. I cut you off.
you're good. 'Cause
I'm gonna say curve because the women have went with curve and it works for them. And they, but also I get it. Braun is good, but also Braun, is it really sticking? I don't know.
I felt Braun was specific to a certain agency, and that specific agency was trying to push that word, and because they were kind of the first ones to kind of do it as well too, and I feel like they kind of was
Because
the
women
ones.
got Titans, right?
I would say had. How about that?
They're not Titans no more.
Nah,
Oh, that was cool.
that was a thing.
That was
a
cool.
thing.
It's
I
like
think
DC
on
Comics.
the website it said Titan Division.
That's iconic.
I don't think
It
it's
no longer says Titans. That, like I said, the same way IMG had Braun.
It's not
Women
IMG
had
Brown.
Titan. It's almost as it was almost as if like each one was trying to define who their big and tall group was and give it this cool football
Category name,
category.
That's kind of iconic.
And they just strayed away from
Was,
it.
but it kind of switched off to like nothing now at this point.
Because I think it just created too much variety and nobody knew where to go. Because when you have these agents
Agreed.
when you have these agents who are only big and tall, like agencies, they don't call themselves a big and tall agency. They call themselves an agency that represents models.
And the
Shout out to
casting
that.
directors, when they're looking, they don't want to. They're not going to type several different names. They want to like hand them everything on a platter. They want you ready. They want everything simply put. So I think sometimes it might have caused a bit of confusion, and maybe they done away with that. To
That's so
help.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Maxwell, go ahead.
Appreciate you. I was just gonna ask, outside of what you were talking about earlier, would you say like? Well, let me ask you guys first. Outside of e-com, what do you feel like those shoots, whatever it may be, that's just not an e-com shoot? What has that been like for you guys?
For me?
Yeah. Would you say? Because obviously, you guys know what e-com feels like. It's very robotic. You know, it's more about the clothes than the model and things like that. But I'll say like I've definitely had a different experience when I go do shoots that aren't classified as e-com.
I'll say my experience from what I see is if you're our size, I don't think you can get a campaign offer unless you have like a good history like you do, like you have more time into this industry. I don't feel like if you have a social media following, you probably have a better chance of doing a campaign with being our size. Other than that, for me, I've done like 2 campaigns thus far out of 2 years. Most of them have been e-com, but I enjoy the shit out of e-com work.
Right.
I enjoy it.
Right.
The brands I've been working with.
Right. Okay.
That's my take.
Okay.
All e-com work aren't equal. I would say this. There's some e-com where I'm like, all right, we got 15 looks. I'm cool. I'm excited. And then there's some e-com that will work you on that plantation.
Like 40, 50
And
looks.
They would throw like
You can speak to that. I don't know that.
You
Like,
don't know about that.
You are blessed, brother. You are blessed.
Look,
You're absolutely blessed.
I experienced that one time with Amazon.
a
They
check
were-
is a check, but
Hey, look.
Okay.
Life does not. Oh my.
I did the great
with how the fashion week is going, right? I really don't have any like experience or like remember if I paid attention to what was taking place last year for September. Did you see any bronze representation last year in September as well? Compared to, I know we still, it's like what, day 2, day 3?
There were 2 models who walked for Tommy Hilfiger, I believe,
Last year.
but remember?
It was yeah. And I feel like there was just a slight bit more representation.
I forgot his name, but his name on IG is a guy with freckles.
But was it a big
I know
like
you're
media
talking about.
coverage around that?
Not
We did.
really.
And our community put like some highlights on that too. I think he did a bit more. That's why I feel like it's also important for us to celebrate ourselves. When you book a job, This is my hot take. It shouldn't be so hot though. We need to celebrate everything we're doing because everything we book as big and tall, as brown models is history. Yeah. Everything we do. So if I'm not talking about it, people aren't going, I'm not too cool to celebrate myself because there aren't people. And 10 years ago, this was not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's so true. It's so true.
Like you shooting Ralph, like Loren, you shooting Polo. Yeah. That was
on the
not
regular
a
too.
thing.
Yeah. He's shooting Polo on the regular.
Yes, sir.
That was not a thing.
Yeah, man.
So like every time you post, I'm always gonna go for you. Every time you post, I'm always gonna go for you. Every time you post, I'm gonna go for you because what you're doing was not even physically possible. Like we're at this space where we could definitely complain that we need more representation, but even though we're moving slow,
we're breaking.
We are literally like light years ahead of where we were before, even though it's space-time continuum. But anyways, this year there hasn't been enough representation I haven't been seeing, but I'm trying to show up. I'm trying to be there. I'm trying to be in these spaces. But also, like I said before, I feel like representation is just probably taking a gap year for the men, but I also feel like it's because we're not showing up to these spaces too when we get invited. So I feel like there's this thing where agents don't invite you to places because they don't think you're going to come or they don't know if you're interested. But I feel like if they treated us like the main roster, like we are like the stars and we have this star power, we should be there beside the Wisdom K's. We should be there beside the Alice Kansanis. We should be there beside the Alton Masons because we're also a part of the agency. But also they don't know if we want to come and show up for stuff like that.
Do you think that would make a difference if you say, like, see the four of us pull up to Tommy Hilfiger, Todd Snyder, like all these different brands? Do you think that would make a difference, like, as far as people wanting to engage with us?
Yes.
Yeah?
We are over 6'2". Yeah. We're over 6'2". If we step in there dressed to the nines, they're going to think like I met some people last night just chilling. I met June Ambrose. June Ambrose, she told me she loved my outfit. I met Eva Chen. She personally invited me to like this Fashion Week after party. Like,
I love her.
These are like great opportunities, but it's because I'm like making myself available and making myself present. But also I feel like it's because the resources.
Right. Yeah, I'm about to say your
resources are everything.
So if you're telling your agency that you want to attend these events, these shows, and they're kind of slow on responding to you or making a list for you, what would be your advice or guidance towards that person? Specifically our size.
Okay.
Like how to get invited to these shows and stuff. Okay,
cool. So you could do a Google search. You can do a Google search. Eventbrite has a lot of events. Even before they're announced, they go on Eventbrite first before they're available to the public. Gotcha. So you can like get tickets to these events. They're like free events you can go to. And like more than likely before they're available for the general public, they'll be available on Eventbrite. So that's another resource you can do. I have PR. I have a PR person who helps me, like who are sending me these things when I tell them I'm interested in them, or because I'm quite chronically online. People see me tweeting about stuff, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh my gosh, you should come to this, or you should come to that, or you should." But also, I'm always actively saying what I'm excited about because people don't know if you don't tell them. And so a lot of the stuff and opportunities is just because I'd be like, "Oh, this is so cool. I think I would do great at this," or "I think I would like show up and show out at this." And so I think it's that thing.
Gotcha.
But definitely, if y'all, I don't know, like that's what I'm saying too. Like, if I'm ever like at something and I feel like y'all can come through or slide through, or like if I ever have a +1, you're more than welcome to come. I just don't know what y'all be doing because y'all be busy.
I'm here with that. I'm at the door. I'm here with that.
But hey, just to piggyback off that real quick and answer your question, I definitely agree that if we were if we were able to go to these events and things like that, we definitely. Not only, obviously, we'd be there, but we'd definitely be able to connect and, have a fit on or whatever. And we'd have one thing in common with a lot of people already. Like, we're in the industry. Some of these people who are getting rewards or being recognized for, a job, we may be attached to the same agency that they're also attached to. So,
like, don't even know,
Exactly. So if we could get into these spaces where we're signed to the same agency as some of these people who are doing these big jobs, like they're going to give us some time because they're like, oh, I didn't even know you exist type shit. Like I feel like a lot of them would feel that way.
It would be a dope concept though. Us show up to like what's the next Fashion Week in New York? February?
Also, you know what I just found out too? Milan Fashion Week is big for men. That's what the men show. So if we really wanted to do something, I've never been to Milan.
Then
I'm down to go to Milan.
We could go to Milan and we can
But
like.
I was about to say we could hire like a little camera crew and just have them like
that'd be cool.
record our experience.
That could be like a special episode.
Hey,
yeah.
didn't Benny London do something in Milan? Shout out Benny.
Yeah.
Or Paris, or
Corbin
he
as well,
walked. He had walked. Yeah.
Word?
I think I can't really.
Corbin walked Milan for sure.
Okay. I know Benny had something. He had like this a black hood on.
That's
looked
Paris.
like shoulder pads. That was
That's
Paris.
Okay.
Still dope. Shout out both of those
Milan's
guys.
a tough crowd, but I feel like if you show up like you say, it'll force them to be like, okay,
Who's this?
who is this? What's
Who
up?
are they?
Blah, blah,
For
blah.
sure, for sure.
Research. There's so many brands that exist. There's so, especially like in different like areas. London's always debuting new like designers. There's so many brands that exist who are constantly having open casting calls. So some of it is personal initiative too. There are some brands who haven't even seen you yet because your agency probably doesn't know about this brand, but this brand is new. This brand had probably just won the new CSDA award.
Yeah.
And it's like, boom, let me show up. Let me go to their casting. And then boom, you know? So I feel like we should be using our agencies as kind of like, which was what we should be doing, using it as a stepping stool to the possibilities. Because Wilhelmina is bigger than just the people who are managing you.
Yeah.
It's a whole entity.
Yeah.
And so when you show up to these spaces, meeting other like people at Wilhelmina, they can advocate for you, especially if they see you show up.
Gotcha.
Like I met so many people, because IMG is so big. But like IMG is also WME, it's also Endeavor, it's also like WME Fashion, it's also so many of these sectors. And in my mind, I'm like, this is amazing because not only am I here as a model, my agent isn't here, I'm also connecting with these people who can put me in different rooms who know that I'm showing up and like I'm dressed really nice and I have this personality and I have this kind of light. And so I think that's really important.
Dope. All right.
Man, in short, basically, our agencies, we love you. We want to go to these places. We want to be in these events, in these scenes. We want to be the supermodels. Period.
We are the
We are the
supermodels.
supermodels.
There you hear.
But we
There
want
you
to
go.
be there. I just feel like it's a social contract at this point. We're here. We're ready.
Yeah.
It's all about you helping to do your part.
Last segment. Go ahead, That you can.
Okay, boom.
Okay,
Go
boom.
ahead. Explain the segment though too, because this will be something we'll probably continue to do from here on out.
All right, cool. So in this segment, we're going to be playing a little game where we are testing each other's knowledge about this crazy industry. Just some like stepping stones and things that we probably should know as a model.
Basic knowledge.
Basic knowledge.
Should be basic knowledge, but we're gonna find out for sure.
Okay, boom. So it's like a this or that kind of thing. I'll do a couple of questions. Which French luxury brand is known for its iconic interlocking CC logo?
Well, you got me right there.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. Oh, well, go ahead.
Chanel?
Yes. Chanel is the answer.
Okay.
What annual event is known as fashion's biggest night out, held at the Metropolitan Museum of Art?
The Met Gala?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
What brand popularized the red bottom shoes?
Christian Louboutin.
Yes.
Ooh. Like that.
Which Italian fashion brand is known for its green and red striped logo?
I'm gonna leave that to you because I know it already.
Now, if you know it, you know it.
Can you repeat that, please, sir?
Which Italian fashion brand is known for its green and red striped logo? Gucci.
Gucci.
Okay. I don't know why I was stunned.
Okay, cool. This is the
That
last
stunned me.
one.
Good job, good
Last
job.
one.
Which British supermodel was a part of the 1990s Big Six supermodel?
Stumped again.
I'll actually give you a hint. Which black British supermodel was part of the 1990s Big Six supermodels? She is an icon.
Is she still relevant today?
Of course.
Extremely.
Oh, I feel like I just offended her without knowing her name right there.
Tyra Banks?
British?
Sorry.
You tried
Close.
to
I did. She's black. She was black.
She's black.
Yes.
She's of Jamaican descent.
I never knew that. Iconic.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Yeah,
Go
Naomi Campbell, the most.
Oh man.
You know, I thought she was American. I thought she was
Me too, me too.
British.
No.
Me too,
'Cause
me
you know
too.
it's crazy. I saw some of her clips. I
Have you
saw
heard her talk?
Yeah.
Nah.
I really haven't. That's
probably
crazy.
what it
I know
is,
her
man.
face.
Yeah.
I know, like, I've seen her walk and all that. Not in person, but I've seen her walk. But
She's an icon. I haven't met her yet, but
didn't know
I
she
hope
was,
to meet her soon.
British. Okay.
But now you know.
That was fun.
Now I know. Now I know.
I
I
mean,
learn something new every day.
That was a pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
so
was.
this will be like our regular segment. We'll call it like this or that, or so I'll come up with something fun for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining in with us. Take care.
And we will
See
see
you
you
next
next time.
Boom.
maintaining.
Apple ID verification.
What's your pause? How long ago was this up there? We were talking for mad long. We have to cut this
Enter
out.
the password. It's all good. It's all good, man.
Oh, you're fine.
We keep it. You know what I'm saying?